And
flight control, stand by for mile marker.
all right, it's still acquiring satellites right now. But you've got, if you look down here, you've got the navigation drawer. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folders in that drawer. You get to those drawers by the little knob. That gives you information about track and ground speed and ETE.
Right here on drawer 1, drawer 2.
Right. This gives you your track line, where you're going, where you're at, the features on the ground, and so forth.
That's the one you guys usually use, right?
Yeah. That's what we use most of the time. Here's XM weather. It's still waiting. Okay, it's got the data in there now. Then we have the information about the airport that we're at, or the nearest airport. And it'll give you the AWOS, that's your weather, the Unicom, that's the radio that you use to call people. And if you're going IFR, your departure and approach, which is 127.4 Myrtle Beach approach. And then 128.7 is Jacksonville Center. This is another navigation page that gives you your position. Before we had satellite tracking, we would have to go to this page to find our position. It also gives you the time and, you know, other information you may want. This gives you the status of the satellites, what satellites you're hooked up to, and how strong those signals are. And then finally your vertical information, which is your altitude. We hardly ever use that because we're just VFR. We got our radar altimeter telling us how high we are above the ground, and our altimeter telling us the absolute elevation. So we like to keep it right there. And then on the next page is waypoint. This is what we will use a lot. We'll open the waypoint drawer by turning the big knob, and then we'll go all the way to the end. And that gives us where we enter in our user waypoint. And let's say we have a waypoint called, well, let's go to scene. All right. Now we're at scene. We want to get down here to this position. So we hit enter, 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 enter. So 6 times. Enter, 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 enter. That gives you down to this position. Now your little knob will start you here. Your big knob will take you over. Let's say it's 34. Back to the little knob. Back to the big knob. 2, 9, or 7, 1, or 9, whatever, 0. And then you keep going the big knob around to, that's, let's say 7, 9, 2, 3, and then let's say that this is the GPS coordinates that we want. And then we hit direct, enter, enter. All right, now that takes us to the scene, but it puts us, you'll see, at the first navigation page. We really want the second navigation page, and that gives us where we're going, a heading of 252 degrees for 70 nautical miles. Then we split that in half for 35, and it'll take us 35 minutes to go those 70 nautical miles. So that's your nav and your waypoint. Auxiliary, you don't really need that, but it's got interesting information in here. And then nearest. If we need to know what the nearest airport is, our nearest to here is Conway, which we're sitting at, next Myrtle Beach, and then we can, nearest intersection if you're doing IFR, nearest NDB, VOR, nearest ARTCC, nearest flight service. nearest airspace. Now, we're here, and let's say we want to go to MUSC. So we want to go direct to KLMU SCH, and then we hit enter, enter. And now it tells us it's on 222 bearing 75 nautical miles.
How come we didn't have to do direct enter? Because of the fact that it's already programmed in there?
Right. We have all these waypoints already programmed in. So if it was Loris,
so if it's the only time you use direct enter would be a scene call, pretty much.
Yeah, the only time you use a waypoint is the scene call.
Where's the little book that tells us what's the identifier?
There you go.
And then
Enter, enter, enter.
Are we,
This button here, enter, means that you're accepting that.
we get a little cheat sheet.
This
that
is
tells
your
us the
this is your
identifier?
cursor. If you watch what happens when I push the cursor, it gives you the information of where you are right now. But it's small and it's hard to read. You can read it better on the next navigation page. Turn the cursor back and it gives you back that one.
Okay.
All right. This is the ring. We're on 10 nautical miles now. If we want the ring to go out, let's say we want to see where Loris is with regards to the state line. Well, there, you see it right there. And that shows us Loris. There's
Ramp CC6 or Ranch Ring.
yeah, this is Myrtle Beach Airport right there.
Oh, okay.
And that's at 100 nautical miles right there. It looks like we got the weather coming in. See this here? This green?
Mm-hmm.
That's satellite weather. And it looks like it's coming up toward Georgetown. So I haven't worked with the weather that much. So I don't know what we can do with it. I've got to look that up in the book. If they have a book for it. So let's bring it down to 20 nautical miles. And that's usually where we'll keep it, at like 20 to 50 nautical miles. All right? And all we do is we follow that pink line, generally speaking. Some people have to be right on it. I just have to know it's in that direction.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Skip likes to see how many times he can intersect it.
Yeah, going back. Okay, any questions? That's all there is to it.